Welcome back, everyone. Great to have you here today. Episode 2258 of the show. If you want to check out any of the research links or maybe even a list today of the best foods for boosting branched chain amino acids, that will be over at stephencabral.com/2258. Today, and really what I've tried to been doing over the last couple of weeks is to teach you more about the physiology of the body. Like, how does the body actually function? Why are things good or bad for fasting? How does the body put on muscle or lose muscle based on the nutrition it takes in and the exercises that you do? And so what I want to share with you today is just about branched chain amino acids. You may have heard about them before, but one of the reasons why they have been so popular in the bodybuilding world is because they add more of the amino acids. Basically, these amino acids are from proteins that are used in order to repair the tissue of your body. And remember, it's not just for building muscle. Our body needs branched chain amino acids in order to do normal cell turnover and recovery, normal rejuvenation. And that's why, even though I talk and I really preach about it, if you're looking for longevity, it seems that those people who do not take their protein to an excess have less chance for cardiovascular, blood pressure, diabetes, cancer. That's very well proven. A lot of people like to just fight against that. I totally get it. I understand that. Remember, but it's nuanced. It's not for every human being. It's for human beings that are trending more anabolic. And that's what I'm going to share with you here today. But I'm going to break it down. I'm going to make it just really clear cut so that you can take action on this and do who it might most benefit and when you may want to use them. So branched chain amino acids are just three. So if we're looking at, well, what are amino acids in general? We're talking about all the amino acids that we can get from protein that our body needs in order to rebuild tissue muscle. And this is even more important for those people over the age of, let's say, 45, 50 years old. And that's because your ability to build muscle or rebuild muscle begins to go down as you age. And it goes down slowly for the most part. It really does. And so your body becomes more catabolic. That means there's less muscle on your body. You might weigh the same, but there's less muscle because it's been replaced. Well, it's not a one for one, but it's been, you add more fat, you lose muscle, the weight may maintain the same, but obviously the body does not look the same. It's not as strong. You don't have as much endurance. All of those things matter. Again, there's not as much stability. So there can be more falls when you're older. Again, all of it matters. All of it happens slowly over time, which is why we need to start acting as soon as possible to rebuild some of that muscle, which builds up our metabolism. And again, don't think that you're going to turn into a big bodybuilder. You're not, right? That's not going to happen. And remember, even if you believe that, at any point, if you start lifting weights and eating a good amount of protein for your body, we'll talk about how much in just a moment, you can always stop, right? You can always slow down. It's okay. I just want to share with you that when I'm talking about the amino acids today, I'm going to be talking about leucine, isoleucine, and valine. But the essential amino acids are histidine, isoleucine, leucine, methionine, phenylalanine, tryptophan, threonine, valine, and lysine. Okay, those are the essential. There's no quiz at the end. Don't worry about it. You don't need to know all of them. What's called conditionally non-essential are arginine, asparagine, glutamine, glycine, proline, serine, and tyrosine. A lot of these help actually with our neurotransmitters. They're used for our mood, so it's not just with building muscle, right? Not just for the repair. And then the not essential would be alanine, aspartate, cysteine, and glutamate. So all of these we would get on a typical vegan diet or non-vegan diet, and we would get all of these amino acids typically on a daily basis, as long as we're taking some of the foods in that I'm going to be chatting with you about. Now, those people, though, that are looking to build more muscle, or if you started to lose more weight, you'll want to add more of these branched chain amino acids in. And I'm going to share with you why that you may not want to or even need to supplement with just those three branched chain amino acids, which are leucine, isoleucine, and valine, as I did speak about before. And one of the reasons why I say you may not even want to is because even though you're looking to increase those because they are the most potent anabolic amino acids in terms of muscle repair, that overdoing them may, not always, may cause more anabolic issues with the body. And those anabolic issues with the body would be, again, all of the things that can help improve muscle mass, but at the same time, they could cause could cause more of a chance for cancer, cardiovascular issues, and let's say higher blood pressure in some, type 2 diabetes in some, only because of the cell dynamics. I understand diabetes and the hydrogenated oils and the processed sugar. I understand. We're not going to go over that topic today. This is episode 2258. We've covered a lot of these topics before, and I will link to them at stephencabral.com/2258. What I want to focus on here today is many people need more of these branched chain amino acids. They may not just need to supplement with the 3 individual ones unless they have very specific goals. Okay, so let's go over all of it, and then we'll talk about who or who may not need to supplement. So branched chain amino acids are found in very common foods and all the amino acids in general. One of the reasons why I think that this is crucial that we look at, though, is that people need more BCAAs, as they're sometimes called as well, in their diet in order to improve their overall, let's say, fasting, dieting, or body transformation goals. And that's the reason. Here's the reason why. People are going hypocaloric, meaning they're really dropping their calories too low, or they're going too long during the day without eating, and they're actually becoming quite catabolic. I've shared with you multiple podcasts that most of the people doing 16-8 fasting, the results are coming from lean mass loss. That means muscle loss and not body fat. That is well proven. And again, I have 2 podcasts sharing with you that the only people that didn't happen to, well, the young, it doesn't happen to as much, but the only people it didn't happen to were those doing strength training at least 2 to 3 times a week. 2 to 3 times a week, those people were able to preserve muscle and lose body fat. The others were not. Their body, again, you don't get to tell your body what to do, right? You only tell it what to do by your actions. So if you're fasting long periods of time and you're not working out with weights, that can lead to an absolute disaster with your metabolism. And again, we see it all the time in our practice. So I'm going to give you the foods right now that can have the highest amount of branched chain amino acids. Excuse me. You're going to find that many of them are more meat and fish based, okay? But I'm going to share with you what are more of the vegan based ones that can also have high levels of BCAAs. And I'm going to share with you then at the end why those, though, are still not as anabolic as the meat, fish, etc. And again, it's always your choice. I support both vegan lifestyles, paleo, primal, etc. Okay, so when we look at the top of the list, and I'm going to see if I can give this chart to you as well. So let me see if I can just find this chart here. Well, here's the thing. I will link it up for you, and you'll be able to get the full chart yourself, all right? So let's just start with some of the more popular ones. So one of the highest, believe it or not, highest branched chain amino acid foods are poultry. So as high really as red meat. So when you look at turkey breast or you look at chicken, you're looking at some of the highest BCAAs per ounce. And part of that is because they're leaner. So if we're looking at leaner meat, then per ounce, there's less fat. And if there's less fat, that means typically per ounce, then there's more protein. Because if we're looking at like a meat, let's just say poultry, red meat, etc., it's measured, you basically weigh it, right? And when you weigh it though, what are you looking at? Well, meat doesn't really have any carbohydrates. You could talk about the sugars and things like that. It's minuscule. So what are we really talking about? We're talking about protein and we're talking about fat. So then if we're talking about, well, the leaner the cut, chicken breast, turkey breast, right? Those are much leaner than, let's say, a thigh. Then you're getting what? You're getting more protein in those than fat, which just then automatically means you're getting more branched chain amino acids inside of those. You're getting more amino acids in general, but you're getting more of the BCAAs. That's why it's even higher than red meat. Now, here's the caveat though, because if you were to take the red meat and you would trim away the fat and it was the same amount of ounces, you can make the argument that red meat has higher amounts of branched chain amino acids, a creatine, which we're not going to get into today, and other pro-anabolic nutrients. And I would agree with that. I believe that red meat is more anabolic than any of the other types of meat out there. I believe that for bodybuilders and people wanting to put on the most amount of muscle, red meat is absolutely that thing. Now, again, am I promoting a diet high in red meat? I'm not. I can't, because we're talking about it from a health-based perspective. But if you're talking about, if someone's saying, hey, what is the easiest and best way to recover and put on the most amount of muscle, yeah, I can't lean red meat for sure. I mean, again, I'm just because I'm unbiased and I do not let dogma affect my decisions. Now, if you're telling me what's the healthiest diet, well, I'm certainly not going to tell you to eat red meat multiple times per day. That is for sure, right? Because I can show you plenty of studies that shows that it can lead to a lot of health issues if you increase your red meat intake. Again, we can have the debate argument another day if you'd like, but for sure I can back that up with scientific research. Now, the thing is, people say, well, it didn't happen to this person. Right. We don't know necessarily who it's going to happen to. We really don't. We can't. We don't know that yet. I've even looked at genetic markers and who it helps and who it hurts. And still not all of these genes match up as well. So I don't want to get into that debate today. I've got a lot of podcasts on that as well. The mounting evidence against meat is certainly one of those. And again, I'm someone that eats meat. So again, I'm just staying unbiased. I'm giving you actually just precisely what the science says that we know to this day. And of course, I'll update that as we learn more and more. All right. So turkey breast, chicken breast, and then I said lean beef, right? So beef, definitely one of the most anabolic out there, meaning higher levels of branched chain amino acid per ounce of beef or chicken breast, turkey breast. Now, what about fish? Wild salmon, very high in branched chain amino acids. I mean, it's almost up there with chicken breast, turkey breast. It's almost there. It really is. Another one is sardines. So, I mean, hard to believe. I didn't think sardines would be as high in the list, but it is. Sardines, now it's a high purine food. I'm not going to get into high purine foods today, but if you're willing to eat sardines, it is one of the few fish that I've seen that really moves the needle. Now, you have to eat it with the skin, right? But it really moves the needle in terms of your omega-3s. And it's obviously a part of a Mediterranean diet, but very anti-inflammatory fish and high in amino acids. It's right up there with salmon as well. Same. Another one is tuna. So right just below those is tuna. Not a huge advocate of tuna. Maybe once a month you could have tuna, but it is high in mercury. So I think you want to go easy on that one for sure. All right. I know that not many people are going to eat this. I'm not going to be a person to eat this, but some people enjoy it, and it's catfish. Catfish is going to be one of the top 10 in terms of high branched chain amino acids. Now, we start to fall down the list a little bit as we start to move down, but before we kind of top off the paleo-based foods, actually, I'll give you this one before I move on to more of the vegan-based foods. It will be eggs. Eggs, though, are only about 1/4. So about 25% of the amount of branched chain amino acids of a salmon, sardines, steak, chicken, turkey, etc. So it's nowhere near as high as the others. I mean, it really isn't. Now, the nice thing about eggs, though, is that you're going to eat multiple of them, right? So if you ate, I'll give you an example. If you were to eat 4 eggs with the yolks, that would then be equivalent to about a fist size worth of chicken breast. All right. So like that's how to look at it, and salmon. So all the others I gave you, like if you want to look at it, about a fist size, about 4 eggs is going to equal a fist size of those others. So you might say, well, I eat 4 eggs. Okay. Well, if you eat 4 eggs, that's basically a 6-ounce serving of chicken, turkey, lean beef, catfish, and all the others as well. All right. So those are your top. You want to look at those. Those are very, very anabolic. Now, if you move towards dairy, you can absolutely look at, well, of course, whey protein would be one. That's an extract. I look at whey protein as basically a supplement. It is a supplement, very high in branched chain amino acids, no doubt about it, right? But if you were to look at milk in general, milk absolutely has your branched chain amino acids in there too. I know not a whole lot of people are just drinking milk, especially since there's so many detrimental food sensitivities to cow's milk, but maybe you're getting raw milk. Maybe you're getting something that's just not like your typical milk that you might see out there. All right. So let's move on and let's just say, well, you don't want to be eating maybe meat all day long or fish all day long. All right. Well, what else could improve your overall branched chain amino acids that are not going to be meat, poultry, fish based? All right. So a few of them that I didn't know before I was doing the research on this. Believe it or not, and this is no small amount. This is, again, 6 ounces of Brazil nuts is quite a bit of Brazil nuts. I mean, quite a bit of nuts. There's no doubt about it. But Brazil nuts pack the same amount per ounce of branched chain amino acids. This was hard to believe. As chicken, turkey, salmon, not quite as much as chicken and turkey, not quite as much as chicken, turkey, and beef, but the same amount as salmon, same amount as tuna, and the same amount of sardines. I thought that was pretty impressive. 6 ounces actually gave you the same amount as those. My opinion, though, you don't eat 6 ounces of Brazil nuts on a daily basis. They're very high in selenium, which is great. I've talked about that before, but you're probably eating maybe 1 a day, 2 a day maximum. And then like you're really getting high on selenium. So that'd be a normal amount of Brazil nuts that you might add. You might throw them in your smoothie and you're getting all the benefits there. All right. So Brazil nuts, absolutely fantastic as a let's just call it plant-based protein if you want to get that in there as well. Others that are higher, lima beans, chickpeas, kidney beans, cannellini beans, lentils. So those are some nice legumes, beans there that you can add in that you're going to get a good dose of branched chain amino acids. Not the same. Again, I'm not saying that it's going to be the same as your non-vegan varieties, but you're still going to be packing a punch in there as well. And then I'm going to give vegans a nice little supplement that you can use as well. That will just take that through the roof as well. A little bit lower would be pumpkin seeds though, but that's there. Brown rice, another nice one for branched chain amino acids. Quinoa, almonds are all on that list as well. Corn's up there, but again, I don't think that anybody should be eating a ton of corn. 93% of all corn is genetically modified. You don't want to necessarily get sweetened corn. So again, if you can get fresh corn, okay, maybe you'll have some corn, but I don't think that is top on people's list. Okay, so those are the top ones. Those are going to be the most potent forms that I think we humans should include on a near daily basis. I'll throw in peanuts as well. Peanuts are up there. Again, just make sure if you're eating peanuts that they are very clean, that you're making sure that they are tested for aflatoxins, that they're low in mold because they are one of the highest in mold out there. All right. So I kind of mentioned 2 supplements. Excuse me. One is whey protein. So whey protein is obviously from cows. For the most part, you're getting whey protein from cows. There is goat's whey protein. That is much more hypoallergenic, easier for people who have sensitive digestion. I'm not going to get into isolates versus concentrates and all that today, but if you're going to get them, get grass-fed. That's my opinion. Now, for most people, I'm recommending a plant-based protein because I think most humans, they just eat too much animal protein in general. That isn't really conducive to overall health. Again, I'm not saying that you can't eat animal protein. I eat animal protein, but what I'm saying is I think we as humans, we can go overboard if we're looking for the best of all worlds. Transforming the body, keeping our bodies fit, but also looking to be healthy as well. I mean, that's where I'm at. Maybe your goals are different. That's why I'm sharing with you we can do on both sides of the equation. But whey protein, obviously packed with the branched chain amino acids. But did you know that pea protein powder gives you, for every 15 grams of protein, it gives you between 2 and 3 grams of branched chain amino acids. So that's pretty impressive. So if you're taking in 15 grams a day, like we use in our daily nutritional support, somewhere between 2 and 3 grams of branched chain amino acids. Not bad. I mean, that's about half a serving of chicken or turkey or beef or any of those things a day. I mean, that'd be the equivalent to about 2 eggs every single day, that 15 grams right there. And then, of course, if you do 2 a day, well, then you're getting about between 5 and 6 grams of branched chain amino acids every single day from that. So that's a nice way that vegans can get in more BCAAs. Again, when you take in your BCAAs, unless it's in a capsule form or a powder form, you're getting all the amino acids that you typically need. That's the great thing about making sure you take in enough protein. So quick recap here though, make sure that if you are losing too much weight or you're trying to gain weight, or let's say that you're over the age of definitely 55, 60, you want to be making sure that you're getting about half your body weight in grams of protein per day. 160-pound person, you're taking in about 80 grams of protein. That hopefully means that you're working out 2-3 times a week as well with weights to be able to keep that muscle mass on. Between the age of about 25 and 55 or so, the typical recommendation is 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. So again, it goes a little bit below that. If you're more active, you can certainly take in more protein. Now, if you are looking to put on size, put on muscle, or you're hypocaloric, which means your calories are less than your energy demands for the day, well, then you can take in more protein. The reason is that you're naturally catabolic. You're taking in less than your body needs to build up. So you can actually take in more protein, and then it's less detrimental for the overall health. Doesn't mean go overboard, but it certainly means that you can do that. And that's why when people are dieting, losing weight, that's what they're trying to do, or lose body fat, they can actually take in a little bit more protein without the detrimental effects. Why? Because their body's in more of a catabolic state. Protein, especially branched chain amino acids, puts you more in an anabolic state. Again, An anabolic state is going to allow you to put on more muscle mass or not lose as much muscle mass, and that's a good thing, right? But it can be taken overboard. That is why I share with you research that shows, again, above 19% of your total macros per day, if it is protein, especially if it's meat-based, you just have more of a chance for cancer. That's what the science says. I believe the science because it makes sense. If you're putting in more branched-chain amino acids, especially from red meat, what does it do? Well, it makes your body more anabolic. If your body's more anabolic, what happens? Well, you typically have higher levels of IGF-1. You might have higher levels of other growth factors as well. What happens when you have other growth factors that are higher in the body? Well, your body's growing, but so can also cancerous-based cells. Again, that's why I want to share this with you, because there are two sides to every story. One side isn't always right, neither is the other side. I like to bring you both sides and allow you to figure out what's best for you based on your bio-individuality. Here's what I'll do today. I'm going to link up all these foods here today at stephencabral.com/2258. I just want you to focus on getting in the right amount of protein for your body and just making sure that you're getting some of these higher branched chain amino acids foods. And then if needed, use a plant-based protein like a pea protein in your diet or daily nutritional support, which has all the vitamins and minerals you need, in order to make sure that you are getting the actual building blocks for turnover and muscle repair for your body. If you see your body aging faster than you would like, I'm telling you right now, you're probably not getting enough protein. You're probably not getting 25 grams at breakfast, 25 at lunch, 25 at dinner, or just 20 grams or so at breakfast, 30 at lunch, 30 at dinner. That's about 80 grams of protein. That's probably plenty for most people. If you weigh somewhere between 130 and 160 pounds, 170 pounds, probably going to be plenty for most people. You can always do more, but 20 at breakfast, 30 at lunch, 30 at dinner. I know you can do that. If it has to, again, just add in your supplemental shake. That's going to be easy then for breakfast. Then you just need some beans or whatever you'd like at lunch. Maybe it's some fish. And then at dinner, you could have some poultry. You could have some meat of some type. You could have some red meat if you'd like a couple times a week. So again, that's up to you, but I want to just paint the picture for what we all need and then allow you to tailor this towards your lifestyle. Hopefully this was helpful. Always happy to answer questions. So just let me know right on YouTube or right on Instagram, and I'd be happy to answer those for you. All right, take care, everyone. Have an amazing day. I'll talk with you soon.